Heather Johnson, and this morning I would like to share a poem with you titled Thanksgiving by Rosemary Watola Trummer. More than these greens tossed with toasted pecans, bless you, I want to serve you the hymn I sung into the wooden bowl as I blended the oil and white vinegar. More than honey ice cream beside warm pie, I want to serve you the bliss in the apple's flesh, how it gathered the sun and carried its luminousness to this table. More than the popovers, the risen ecstasy of wheat and milk and eggs, I want to serve you the warmth that urged the transformation to bread. Blessings. I want to serve you full choruses of hallelujah. Oh, so holy here in this moment. Oh, so holy here in this world. I chose this poem to share this morning because I felt it best represented the deeper meaning behind food that I would like to convey. Food can be holy. It is sacred in the way that we can choose healthful foods that will feed and nourish our bodies. The act of eating can be a holy experience. When we sit down as a family in our homes, or even in the pleasure space of cooking for one, that time is special. When it comes to food, I've done much research over the past 4 years, and now jokingly refer to myself as a vegetarian. I jest because in those 4 years I've decided not to eat animal meat except for fish, and most of the food I consume is organic and local. Food is a passion for me because I love to cook. Based on a survey done in our classroom, most of you love to cook as well. 2 out of 12 of those polled sit down to dinner as a family 7 nights out of the week. Well done. In your busy lives, a higher percentage are grabbing something quick or reheating leftovers. You are also eating meat at least 5 times per week and at least twice per day, and only 30% of you buy organic food. Today, I would like to attempt to change the way you value food by linking our diet to our health, buying and shopping organically, and creating that sacred space with home-cooked meals. You are what you eat, so let's begin by linking our diet to our health. One of the first books I came across in my research was Michael Pollan's Food Rules and Eater's Manual. He gets right to the heart of the matter at the beginning of the book. He says, a few years ago I set out to get to the bottom of a simple question. What should I eat? What do we really know about the links between diet and health? He goes on to say that the deeper I delved into the confused and confusing thicket of nutritional science, I learned that in fact, nutritional science knows a lot less about nutrition than you would expect. That in fact, nutritional science is a very young science. It's still trying to figure out what exactly happens in your body when you sip a soda, or what is going on deep in the soul of a carrot that makes it so good for you. In further reading, what they do know for sure is that populations that eat a so-called Western diet, us, a diet consisting of processed food and meat, added fat and sugar, lots of refined grains, lots of everything except for vegetables, fruits, and whole grains, we are the ones that invariably suffer from high rates of obesity, cancer, and cardiovascular disease. Robert Kane, a contributor from the book Blue Zones, makes a very similar point. We seem to like a lot of things that are bad for us: salt, sugar, and fat. The best diet is basically one of moderation. Kane also approaches the great meat debate saying, you hear all about these people who live on beans and plant food, and that's probably okay, but I don't think it's necessary. One certainly can metabolize a certain amount of meat, but again, it's a question of, are you eating meat a couple of times per week, or are you eating it every day for 2 meals a day? Are you eating processed meats that are filled with fat, or are you eating good cuts of lean meat? I just come back to moderation. So how can we begin to eliminate these processed Western foods from our diet? It can begin in the supermarket. Start shopping mainly in the peripheries of the store. Most processed foods are located down the center aisle, items like Twinkies and Pringles. Have you looked at the ingredients on these boxes? One of Michael Pollan's food rules advises us to read the ingredients on a package and imagine what those ingredients look like raw or in the places where they grow. And this rule will keep all sorts of chemicals and food-like substances out of your diet. And that's what they are, chemicals made in a factory and sold as food. These are the items processed and refined for our consumption and cause dis-ease in our bodies. Now that we have discussed how our Western diets are linked to our health, let us continue on in the supermarket and elsewhere to shop and buy organically. Another great food goal by Michael Pollan is to eat well-grown food from healthy soil. In other words, to eat organic produce. For a specific definition, organic produce, as defined by organic.org, are those fruits and vegetables that are grown without the use of pesticides, synthetic fertilizers, sewage sludge, genetically modified organisms, or radiation. 4 years ago, when I first began my health-conscious quest, I came across a book called Skinny Bitch by Rory Friedman and Kim Barnum. As the title of the book would suggest, these women were crass, but to the point, changing many of the ways I looked at food and its production. Kim went on to develop subsequent books, one titled Skinny Bitch Ultimate Everyday Cookbook, and in it she simplifies the very important process of choosing organic. Kim states, to buy or not to buy organic, just another one of life's conundrums. I'm going to make it really easy for you. Are you familiar with the Dirty Dozen? It's the Environmental Working Group's high-profile list of fruits and veggies that are the most toxic when eating conventionally, non-organically. Each are scored and indicate how many samples of each good on a scale of 1 to 100 have been found to be pumped with pesticides. The higher the score, the uglier its chances. Before beginning my speech, I gave each of you a paper turned upside down. You may now turn it right side up and take a look at the pesticide rating for each of these fruits. Maybe you recognize fruits you buy on a daily basis and are now shocked as I once was when I first began to shop organically. Now you might say, but buying organic is expensive. Well, it doesn't have to be. Pay attention to sale market ads as they go on sale. Even better yet, try to buy seasonal and local produce from neighborhood farmers markets. Another excellent way to have a wide range of seasonal and local produce is to join a CSA. CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture. For a fee, farms around our country and in our communities allow us to join and share from March to December in whatever the farm harvests that year. Not only are you able to walk the farm and pick fresh organic produce, but you are sharing in your community and seeing firsthand where your food is coming from. As a final resort, you can grow your own. I finally did this past summer, and I cannot tell you how rewarding it was to go into my backyard and be able to pick butter lettuces, basil, and tomatoes from my own garden. It's important as it is to link our diet to our health and to shop organically, it is equally important to create that sacred space with home-cooked meals. As a child growing up in the mid-'80s culture, my parents microwaved every dinner. They bought every vegetable in a can, and we had a special microwavable brown bowl that was divided down the center for 2 items. We'd open up a can of corn, another can of potatoes, nuke in the microwave for 5 minutes. We'd get out the jar of applesauce, and my mom would make a meat. Dinner was served. By contrast, spending weekends with my grandmother, we were always in the kitchen together. She took her time chopping and mixing, and all the while talking, listening, connecting. Maria Helmskinsky has a relatable experience and states it best in her book, Family Meals. Mealtime ensured we all remained connected to one another and to the food we ate. Cooking together was a way to communicate, whether we were exchanging stories about our day or just quietly reflecting on each other's company. My mom's version was well-intentioned for sure, but it was never an experience or a special moment. It was whatever was quick and easy, and you just don't have that sacred space with a microwave. Maria goes on to say that nowadays life is so fast-paced that many of us have moved away from preparing home-cooked meals. As a result, we've not only become disconnected from what we eat, but also from the people closest to us. I know from a survey done at the beginning of our school semester that many of you have children. What traditions and special memories are you passing on to them? I also know from our survey that some of you are single and living at home. Cooking for one can be equally as important and just as enjoyable. I love those days when I get to make a pot of soup in the kitchen. I pour a glass of wine, I put on some music, and I begin chopping. The meditative way I chop the garlic and the onions, the carrots and celery, the sizzle as the oil hits the bottom of the pot, the smell of thyme. These moments alone in the kitchen are sacred to me. As inspiring as this sounds, you say, I just don't have the time. My grandmother was old school and would stay up late to make fresh pasta for the next day. There is a middle ground here that does not involve slaving in the kitchen. I found this very helpful website online called Peace and Love in the Kitchen. It has great ideas on how to prep for the week so you have healthy foods readily available. Some fun tips include pre-cutting fruits and veggies for the week, making a dinner calendar, or baking once a month. Finally, Peace and Love says that the family table is an opportunity to connect with the people you love the most. Take time. Don't rush throughout the meal. Taste the food. Talk. Listen. Hopefully, I've been able to take you on a valuable food journey this morning, one that links your diet to your health and involves looking at ingredients, one that shows the importance of buying and shopping organically, and one that creates that sacred space with home-cooked meals. For those of you who already have family traditions, maybe you'll look more closely at the produce you purchase and choose organic. For those single and living at home, maybe you are now inspired to try a new recipe just for you. Maybe all of you are thinking, hurry up and get to the cookies. I'll leave you with one final thought from Danish philosopher Kierkegaard. We create ourselves by our choices. Thank you.